Hello, everybody, and welcome in. How is everybody doing tonight? It is Wednesday, midweek. Weekend's approaching. Oh, yeah. Good stuff on the way up, everybody. On the way up. Kilty in there at the top of the comments. Woohoo, just where you need to be. Don't stop till you're at the top, my man. Nolander coming with that thumbs up. Bobby Grimes coming in with that thumbs up like immediately at the stream there. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We are here tonight for round 9 of Roving Island World Tour North America edition, presented here by D-Dot Racing, and I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. So we have a absolute fire racetrack here on the docket tonight with Monza. We're in Italy. It is a 5.7 kilometer racetrack. It has 11 left and right hand corners. It's a real world circuit, tarmac surface. It appears in Gran Turismo 5, Gran Turismo 6, and a Gran Turismo Sport update, and of course Gran Turismo 7. That's correct, Nolander. You're good to go, my guy. No need. Alright, so I am moving over. There we go. That's the screen we're looking for. All the good stuff, the juicies, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so let's break down what's happening here tonight. As always, the qualifying settings are the same as the racing conditions. In this case, it is a endurance race, and we'll break that down in just a moment's time. So the lobby opens at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and qualifying starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a open Group 3, no Toyotas basically, and no VGTs allowed on the racing track this season. It is a BOP on, no tuning series. Boost is off. It is a grid start with a false start check, and of course, the slipstream is real condition. Mechanical damage here in the series is the heavy damage model, which means that drivers need to really keep it on point, especially at Monza. There's a couple bottleneck spots here on this racetrack, which makes things very, very difficult. All right, what else we got there? Track edge is real. We've got driving aids only are traction control and the anti-lock braking system. Grip, of course, is real, and the overtaking system is set to default, and of course the mandatory tire must be used for a full circuit lap, and in this case this week it is that Racing Hard tire. Alright, so our penalty system is, of course, shortcut penalties are on weak. We have ghosting turned off. Wall and contact penalties are turned off, as that's handled by officials in behind the scenes. Correct vehicle after wall collision is turned off as well. Our flag wheels are turned on. Our pit lane penalties are turned on as well. And what is in the schedule tonight? Well, a 50-minute endurance race here tonight at Monza, and the mandatory tire is the Racing Hard. All 3 tires are available to the drivers to be used throughout the race. So as long as they use a hard tire for one full circuit lap on the racetrack, basically a full flying time lap is what that breaks down to here, ladies and gentlemen. They can use whatever they want throughout the whole race. So it's 5 times tire wear, 5 times fuel consumption, and every time they go around the racetrack here, it's like using 5 laps worth of fuel and tires. So much like we've seen in our first couple races this week here from our other divisions, fuel is most certainly going to be the issue here this week, and it's going to really play into how each driver has their strategy set up coming into race, and of course a 15-minute qualifying run leading into the start of our race, where we will line up our drivers fastest to slowest on the grid. And the weather is SO1, dry, cloudy, and pleasant. Evening condition, and it's a ×8 weather variable. All right. So there it is, Monza, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute beautiful little racetrack there. Kind of looks like a shoe, really, in a sense, but very high speed. They call it the Temple of Speed. And it's just a little bit of what we're about to see here tonight on the track there for everybody as well. So let's go see what's happening on the racetrack here in a minute's time. So we're just waiting for the drivers to check in. Looks like the drivers are actually checked in. So we're about a minute away from dropping our qualifying flags here in the race tonight, and of course our drivers on grid will roll around the racing track and try to see who's going to end up in pole position here at the end of the night. Alright, let's catch up with the chat here a little bit. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm near the top. One more race, and I'll be climbing my hardest to get to the top. Facts. Let's go. Hashtag Team Rad. Let's grow. Hey, how's it going, Josh? Let's go, TT. There we go. Love it. Welcome in on YouTube and Facebook, of course, everybody. And we're just going to get the ready symbols going here in our race, and then we will get some qualifying going for everybody. So. Okay, get right on time here tonight. I love that. Oh, I know I haven't flipped my screen yet. Yeah, it'll reset. There we go. You're good. As soon as we hit the qualifying button, it'll reset the lobby. We're good, my dude. We're good. I promise. Oh, we're always missing one. Who's the non-readier? I think it's Egon. He's in the VR, so it wouldn't surprise me. Alright. Egon's always ready. Alright, let's get qualifying underway, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, hold on. We gotta tell our drivers to have a nice night and have a good race, right? Come on now, Ghosty. What's going on here? Alright. Big screen! Oh yeah, let's get the big screen. Let's check, make sure we got game audio, because that's been causing us a little bit of small issue here lately again. Alright. Good luck, drivers. Alright, let's go check things out. So, qualifying conditions, here we go. A 15-minute qualifying run here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And the drivers are underway. So, right now we're on board with ATK Death, but I believe, as per the norm, we have TT's Egon here out on track first. Actually, it's Sticky Bandit out on track first here. Ooh, there we go. The THG driver out on track here in that Lexus. So we've seen Apex Sim Racing's Larry Birch in the pro lobby last night. His Lexus was quite strong here, so should suspect to see the same thing from Sticky Bandit here. And, well, I guess we'll see what these drivers got here in qualifying now, won't we, ladies and gentlemen? We got 15 minutes, see about 6, maybe 7 laps, depending on the driver. Alright, so now that the live timing is starting to sort itself out here, we've got Sticky Bandit out first on track, we've got TT's Egon second out on track, good time to have the penalty on the out lap, we've got Drone Kobe third out on track, we've got VPR Shredda in fourth out on track, we've got Team Rad's Nolander, okay, fourth out on track. We got Lucky Alpha here, fifth out on track. We've got ATK Death here, sixth out on track. We've got Fast Ginger here, seventh out on track. We've got ATB here in eighth on track. Miguel is ninth out on track, and Death is coming back out on track. So, all right. A lot of drivers giving themselves lots of space, lots of good, clean, fresh racing air, and that's perfect when you're qualifying. Currently in the game, it's been that the slipstream is not turned on, so slipstream doesn't do you any good here in qualifying. It's all about your race pace, so not even your race pace, your hot lap pace essentially in qualifying. So it really comes down to your skill behind the wheel of your race car. So with that being said, Sticky Bandit is going to take us around Monza here for the first time in our Pro-Am Round 9 division from Roving Island World Tour 2 at Monza. It's going to be a 50-minute endurance, 5-0, and I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Welcome in, everybody. Family-friendly broadcast, so the kiddies, of course, can always come in and hang out with us too as well. We'll behave, we promise. Alright, so Sticky Bandit here coming around turns number 1 and 2. You can see right off the bat coming out of that huge long straightaway, coming to a braking zone that takes us around Curva Grande, and that heads into turns number 4 and 5. And yes, that's right, another chicane. So another fairly slow braking point here. Going to be seeing cars go down into second, potentially first gear, like we've seen from Sticky here to get rotation out of that Lexus, back up into second on the exit to get on the power. From there, that takes us into Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. So big, long sweeper. Alright, that one's not so bad. This one can be a little bit tricky. It tends to throw drivers out. If you don't quite get the car thrown into that little dip in the apex quite right, you can go a little bit wide, and that curb on the exit, as we've seen in the other two divisions this week, well, it could be bad news for a race car driver, unfortunately. So as of now, we're heading up a nice long little straight run here that takes us into a scar. So just after the bridge here, you're typically on your brakes. Want to get as much of that curb as you can, but not too much, and then just kind of throttle rhythm around the corner, and then the moment you know that you're not going to shoot past the exit curve there, back on the throttle, and that leads us up another little straightaway here, and then of course that takes us into Curve Parabolica and start finish line. So let's get back out to our TV crew and let them do what they do best, of course, provide us some great camera angles here during our racing action. And let's see what Sticky Bandit has here the first time around Monza in qualifying here for round 9. So official qualifying lap about to be put in here for Sticky, and it's a 51.5. We got Trone coming in here as well. That's a 52.9. We got Nolander coming up into second place. We've got Alpha taking pole position. Shredder's going to come across there in what looks to be 5th place here for the time being. He's going to drop down to 6th place as Fast Ginger moves up ahead. Oh boy, I can't keep up here apparently. Alright, there we go. We got Miguel coming through here from VPR as well in 7th position on the track in qualifying here. Let's see where he settles himself now into the grid here as he's just heading into Curve Parabolica right now. So we got Miguel, Egon, Death, and I'm not sure who the other driver is. Still looking to put in a hot lap. ATB, Apex Sim Racing's Guardian. It could be. Alright, here we go. So that was good enough for 6th place, so he goes ahead of VPR Shredder there. We got Egon just coming around Parabolica right now, and he's in that Porsche 911 RSR. And much like we've seen all week long, you can see several of the cars have that orange hue, that orange paint background to them here today, and that's just to show their support to Truth and Reconciliation Day that happened over the weekend here, this past weekend in Canada, and that's good enough for 3rd place there for Egon as he comes around. So we got Death here now, and let's see what Death has got here. It's a 51.5, good enough for 2nd position, and we're going to have Apex Sim Racing's Guardian coming through here. Oh, he's on an outlap. He may have made a mistake and just had to reset himself up there. So it is Lucky Alpha in pole position. We got Nolander making a mistake out of Ascari there. Let's get back on board with Sticky. We have a driver just getting through there. I believe that was Apex Sim Racing's Guardian just getting through there up ahead. So come on, Guardian, give these boys to business. Apex up top, baby. Chris Reeves says, go Apex. All right. Sticky Bandit here currently sitting in 3rd position right now as he comes around there. That was not an improvement, but still hanging on to 3rd place here for the time being. We got Alphas coming through here. Currently fastest driver on the racetrack. Death is currently sitting in 2nd. Fast Ginger improves there to put him up into 5th position. These guys are so close together I can't keep up. Alright, so we got a little pack there. Let's try to remember that. There we go. On board with Miguel as he's just coming in between Ascari and Parabolica corner here. Curve Parabolica. There's a million different ways I think that's said, or I've heard it said, but the final corner here at Monza nonetheless. And a very long, high-speed sweeping corner. You can get on the power a lot earlier than you would think, but there is a little bit of management to your throttle rhythm depending on how early you decide to get on your throttle and where you apex the corner, of course. Miguel's getting enough there for 5th place that time around, and that was a good lap there for Miguel. Alright, let's go see who we got here. There we go. We've got Egon coming up next here. Let's see what he has as he's heading up the racetrack. And it's good enough for pole position provisionally here right now. He's got about 1.5 tenths over Lucky Alpha in 2nd position. Alright. A little bit of confusion, don't mind me. Alright, so it's going to be Apex Sim Racing's Guardian here, and he's going to come around and put his first lap in here, his first official lap for his qualifying today, and I think he may just be playing a little possum here and burning off some fuel, personally. 52.2, and that's good enough for 6th place currently here in the field as well. Oh, there it is. Sticky Bandit's coming back through. He's going to take pole position back away there, the 51.174. So very well done there from Sticky Bandit as he comes around. We got 2 drivers very close together there. I just got to figure out which 2 they are. There we go. We got Lucky Alpha and Trone Kobe there. So Lucky Alpha's in 3rd. Where's our boy Trone? Where are you at, Trone? Alright, Trone is sitting in 10th place currently here, 52.955 for Trone Kobe. And we have seen some of these mid-rear engine cars really have to work hard here to keep up with some of these more what we like to call power cars, some of these front engine rear-wheel drive cars that have an advantage on these big straightaways here at Monza. And I mean, they do call it the Temple of Speed, so it tends to favor these high-powered cars. We got Death making a mistake in a scurry there, it looked like there, as he was off the track, and you can see he's just going to reset there, and there's still plenty of time here. We got 6.5 minutes remaining in qualifying yet, so lots of time for these drivers to shore up that fastest lap that they can around Monza here. But right now the pole sitter is Sticky Bandit here. Egon is 0.2 a second in behind. You got Lucky Alpha 1.5 tenths in behind him. Big wiggle coming out of I believe that was Lesmo 2 there. We have ATK's Death here, currently sitting in 4th place. He's just coming out. He's going to scrub those tires in. We got Miguel here in 5th position as well currently. He's got 0.3 of a second over Apex Sim Racing's Guardian at the moment here on the racetrack. He's got 1/10 over Fast Ginger, who's got a whisker over Team Rad's Nolander here. We got Shredda was about 0.2 in behind him, and we got Drone Kobe 0.4 in behind him here so far on the racing track. So it is Sticky Bandit here, and he's actually just getting around that final corner right now. So let's stick with our current pole sitter here as he comes around for another dusting at that best time around Monza in qualifying. And let's see what he's got there. It was a good lap there, but it wasn't an improvement. A 151.927 coming out of our pole sitter here currently. Alright, we got Lucky Alpha coming through here. He's been battling for that position up top there as well. Let's see what he's got this time. Not an improvement there. We did see a couple of wiggles coming from that driver as he was coming, I believe it was of the Lesmo sections there. And, well, when you wiggle and you squiggle and you squeal your tires like that, that costs you a little bit of time on the racetrack at the end of the day. So Death here sitting in 5th place currently. We got Miguel here in 6th position as well. We've got ATB here in 7th place. We've got Fast Ginger here in 8th position. We got Shredda in 9th place here. And again, McLaren's struggling a little bit here at Monza. We've seen that through all our divisions here so far this week. So the McLaren is not the car to be sitting in here apparently at this racetrack. But at the same time, we've seen those drivers battle very hard and do and have good races nonetheless. We got Nolander here sitting in pole position here now currently with a 150.516. We got Sticky Bandit here in 2nd place now, and that was a blazing lap there from Nolander. He's got 0.6 on our well, who was the pole sitter there. We got Egon sitting in 3rd place still. We got TT's Lucky Alpha here in 4th position. We've got ATK's Death here in 5th. We've got Miguel here in 6th. We've got ATB here in 7th. We've got Fast Ginger here in 8th. We've got Shredda in 9th. We got Trones here sitting in 10th position. Sticky! Hashtag Team THG. Welcome in, Stoppy. How's it going, Corey? My car only had 483 horsepower, minus 11 horsepower than the Porsche, so am considered a non-power car. Well, not necessarily, my guy. Come on now. I like it, though. That's good. That's good. Anthony coming in with that like and the share on the stream. Chris coming in with that like on the stream as well. Much love. We appreciate all that support here, as always, on the streams. And of course the drivers love it too, so we do appreciate that. Drone with an improvement, 52.7 there. Guardian with a 151.2, and that's good enough for 3rd place there as well for him. So he's found himself now sitting there fighting for the ranks up top. Nolander doesn't find an improvement. We got Fast Ginger coming in there with a 151.138. We got Sticky Bandit here who's still holding strong in 3rd place, but now we've got ATV right there nipping We've got Egon here in 5th position. We've got Alpha here in 6th. We've got Death here in 7th. We've got Miguel here in 8th. We've got Shredda in 9th position. We got Trone here in 10th place right now currently, but he is right there in behind. So what was that right now? 2 seconds is the gap between 1st and 10th place. So about a half car length gap between the whole field from 1st to 10th place right now is about what that gap is if you were to line them up 2 seconds apart from front to back. Just being cheeky. Let's go Miguel and Shredda. Fags out. Hey. Alright, so it's Nolander. Who do we got here? Let's see. We got somebody coming through. Oh, who was it? It was Egon coming through. He's still sitting in 5th here. We're trying to find that one going through. There it is. It is Shredda. Alright, let's see what he's got here. Not going to be an improvement there, judging by the time on the clock, but that could be not what we're seeing. And it says 52.516 there, so that was exactly the case. We weren't seeing a true story there. We've got Tron Kobe here in 10th position. Alright, so it is still Nolander here in provisional pole, and there it is. ATB with a 51.1, that's going to put him ahead of Fast Ginger, now up into 2nd position. We got Sticky coming through, that's going to put him up into 2nd position there with a 150.730, and oh, it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy, here we go. Alright, so it's Lucky Alpha coming through here. Does he have a response now? And these drivers have been fighting hard for that best time here on the racetrack, and nope, it's going to be 51.5 that time around. Who is next closest? Let's go find him. Come on. Oh, it was Drone coming through there. I think we just... Oh, he's just coming across there. And he's currently still sitting in 10th position. Alright, there we go. We got Fast Ginger coming through. Does he respond? No, he does not. We've got Egon here. Who else do we got? ATK's Death here in 7th position. And well, I don't think he's much on a flyer here. So you can see him swinging back and forth. He got a little bit of damage on that racing car there is what we can see. Let's go ATK, says Shannon. Welcome in, welcome in. Alright, Sticky Bandit here. Let's see. He's in the Lesmos. We got ATB flying still. There we go. We've got Egon, and I'm not sure who's ahead of Egon there. But they came across the line and didn't find an improvement, or it would have popped up on the bottom left-hand side of the screen there. So let's see if Egon's can find some improvement here. He does find an improvement. He finds another 2/10, but still only going to be good enough for 5th place there for him as he comes through. And we're on our final lap here for all the drivers by the looks of it here now. We got Lucky right there. Shredda comes through. He's just going to get across that time. He's going to get one more crack here as well. So that was good timing on his part there. He gets across the line right before our race officials are going to most likely wave that checkered flag here in qualifying. Right, so we got Sticky coming through here. Lucky also pulling into pit lane here. So let's see what Sticky has here. Sticky is another good lap there. Didn't miss his personal best by very much there, just a couple hundredths of a second. We've got Guardian coming through into that chicane right now. Who's ahead of Ginger? There it is. Alright. It's Tron Kobe, so the two McLarens here. So Tron Kobe from the Hummel guys and Fast Ginger from 10/10ths as they come around here, and they are going to take that checkered flag here. So this will be the end of their qualifying runs. Tron is not going to find any more time there. Fast Ginger jumps into pit lane. We got flyers. Let's go find them. Gotta get to that one. Oh, wow, we just missed him. Haha. There it is, Miguel coming through on his final one here. He's currently sitting in 8th place. He's only got, well, less than 400ths of a second in behind the Mercedes driver of ATK Death here right now. So let's see what he's got. Nope, isn't going to find anything this time around the track, which is, well, that's all right. Egon's got a penalty, so that's going to void the lap. Death comes through. He doesn't get the improvement there. I think Shredda is on a flyer. He should be our last driver, I think, on a flying lap here. And it was a 54.08 there, so That should be our lineup. It's going to be Team Rad's Nolander in pole position. It's going to be THG Sticky Bandit lined up beside him. Row 2 is going to be Apex and Racing's Guardian and 10 tenths Fast Ginger. In row 3 is going to be 10 tenths Egon and Lucky Alpha. In row number 4, it's going to be ATK's Death and Miguel. In row number 5 is going to be Shredda and Trone Kobe here today. So there we go. GG's to all the drivers. That was a great qualifying run. Nolander Gaming, great lap, my guy. BMW is going to do great here. Facts. Here comes ATB to smoke my lap now. Oh, you guys are funny. Hey, how's it going, Paul? How you doing, my guy? How are you, legends? Hope you're doing good. Hope the fam's good, man. Hope the job is fruitful. Hope you've been enjoying it, man. You get to do some cool stuff. So, yeah, it's been a while, dude. We gotta catch up sometime. Alright, so qualifying results here, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Nolander in pole. I have Sticky Bandit in second place. It's going to be ATB here in third. It's going to be Fast Ginger in fourth, and Egon in fifth. It's going to be Lucky Alpha in sixth, Death in seventh, and Miguel in eighth. It's going to be Shredda in ninth, and Trone Kobe rounding out the field here tonight for round number 9 at Monza. I know he's got a, yeah, facts, Chris, facts. We'll see how that holds up over 50 minutes now. But yeah, it's I mean, the benefit to having 10 out of our 13 drivers on grid here tonight is, well, open air, clean racing air. Clean racing air means that you can get optimal laps. So optimal laps means the driver is potentially going to stay very close together here. And, well, I mean, this is the Pro-Am lobby, so... Alright, drivers are all ready and up here right now. These guys, top level. Alright, 7 of the 10 are ready to go. 8 of the 10 are ready to go. 9 of our 10 are ready to go. There's always one non-readier. Always one. Who is it this time? Oh, I know who it is. Oh, I don't know who it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, drivers are ready. That means race control is ready. That means round 9 is going to drop the green flag here very, very shortly. Let's go, Team Apex. How's it going, Bo? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright, race control is going to get these drivers lined up on the racetrack. Let's get it Pro-Ams, let's get it ATB, good luck drivers. I'm excited for Trone's potential modified 6-stop. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, I agree. I agree. Alright, one more mic thump. I'm sorry, chat. I know you guys hear the mic when I pick it up. I do apologize. We'll work on getting some better equipment here in the future, if we take that route. Alright, kick them tires, light them fires. We're gone racing. We got all the drivers off the grid there. We have a great start. Let's see how this chase down to the first chicane heads here in Monza. So there we go. Cold racing tires, different tire compounds, potentially lots of things going on here on the racetrack. We got Death bailing out a little bit there, off in the background. A little bit of evasive action there, and he's actually going to scoop up a couple spots in the process. So that kind of worked out for him there now, didn't it? A little bit of patience, and he was rewarded with 2 jumps, in through the first chicane there. So nice clean turn 1 and 2 here from the Pro-Ams, and I tell you, the Pro-Ams do it best. They have all year long. Team Rad's Nolander, our pole sitter here in the early race lead as we head into the second chicane, and single file are our Pro-Am drivers. Oh boy. Nose to tail. Love to see it. Let's go. Alright, this is a nice, good race start here, and it looks like the Pro-Ams are ready to fire one up. So let's get ready, drivers. Better refresh those beverages now before things get real crazy. Alright, so it is a 50-minute endurance race. Hard tire is required to be used here tonight, but all tires are available to the driver. So as long as they use that racing hard tire for a full flying circuit lap, well, anything's game. We have seen the hard and the soft compound tires be the main strat here this week, but we have seen a driver dabble with some medium tires, and it almost played out real well for him here last night. But what are the Pro-Ams going to do? Well, we're about to find out. But it is Nolander here in the early lead of the race. We've got Sticky Bandit here in second position. We've got ATV here in third. We've got Fast Ginger here in fourth. We've got Shredda in fifth position. We got Egon here in sixth place right now. We've got in behind him is Lucky Alpha. We've got Death in eighth place in the Mercedes in behind him, with Miguel right there in ninth and Tyrone Kobe in 10th place, and a massive train from 4th through 10th place here as we head down to start lap number 2. And here we go again. Monza time, baby. We're seeing about 25 to 27 laps here so far this week on the racetrack from the other 2 races that have already gone on throughout Monday and Tuesday evening. So we should see about the same thing here from our Pro-Am division. Shredda tucked right in behind Fast Ginger there in 4th place. He's got Egon starting to close back in here a little bit as well in 6th place. So the driver's separating just a little bit there as we head up into the second chicane. Lucky Alpha here in 7th place coming through. He's got Death right in behind here in 8th place. Miguel in 9th position, and Drone here rocking and rolling in 10th place. Alright, so here we go. It is Sticky Bandit, so not sure what's happening to Nolander, but Sticky Bandit has got the job done. He's going to take over the race lead in that Lexus, and he is moving up the road towards Ascari and very quickly opening up some ground here on Nolander in second place. So our second race leader of the evening, and Sticky Bandit just entering Ascari here right now. Nolander chasing here in second place. He's got ATB or Apex Racing's Guardian here in third position. We got Fast Ginger close behind here in fourth. We've got Shredda and Egon now very close together here in 5th and 6th place. So Egon's done a good job to close the gap up, and now he's inside passing range. Are we going to see Slingshot engage, or are we going to see Egon just settle in behind and sit in behind the McLaren driver here? It's going to be interesting to see. He's going to take up the inside here as we head through curve parabolic. A nice tight line there from Egon. He's going to get the move done, and he's going to find himself up in 5th place as they enter the start-finish straight here to get ready to start a lap 3. So Egon up at the 5th. We got Shredda in 6th place. We've got Lucky Alpha here in 7th. We got Death in 8th position, and Tyrone Kobe giving him the business here now, as Tyrone has also gotten around Miguel here just a few corners ago. We just missed it. Miguel here has just settled back in here in 10th position, and as we enter turns 1 and 2 again, it's going to be side-by-side action between Tyrone and Miguel. And are we going to see a cutback? No, everybody just settles in, and ooh, we got a race on our hands tonight, folks. Yeehaw, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Choo-choo, look at that train. Facts. Folk coming in with that like on the stream, we appreciate you, my dude. Alright, so it's THD Sticky Bandit here in the race lead, 2.3 seconds. We got Nolander here 1 second ahead of ATB, who's, well, 1.3 seconds ahead of Fast Ginger. Fast Ginger's 2.3 seconds ahead of Egon. Egon is ahead of Shredda by just under, a second, over a second now. Here as we head through Lesmo 1 and enter Lesmo 2. And Lucky Alpha here in 7th position, trying to close in on that McLaren driver up ahead as well. We got Death here in 8th place. Just a little bit of separation here now from a couple of the drivers in the pack, and as they make little mistakes in the corners and get bottled up, we're going to see that, but we'll see these drivers probably close right back up on each other here, of course, as they go through these technical sectors, because you can really make up some distance in their braking if you're willing to commit to it. So we've got Sticky Bandit here in 1st place. We got ATB here in 2nd place. We got Ginger here in 3rd. We got Shredda in 4th. We got Alpha in 5th. We've got Egon in 6th. We've got Death in 7th. We got Miguel here in 8th. We've got Drone in 9th. And we have Nolander, who's just coming back on track there after making what I assume would be a mistake coming out of Ascari, and he's going to fall right down back in to 10th position. However, with that being said, there's still 46 minutes and some change left on the clock, and he was, of course, the fastest driver in qualifying, so do not count that BMW M6 out by a long shot here yet tonight. We have ATB here in 2nd place. It's 5 seconds now up to Sticky Bandit up in front. Fast Ginger here in 3rd position as well. It's 1.1 seconds. We got Lucky Alpha here in 4th place, and we got a battle happening here. Here we go. So Shred is going to move up into 4th place. Death's going to move up into 5th place. Lucky Alpha is going to drop down 2 positions, and Egon's going to take a look up into Curva Grande here. And can he get the job done here? Not quite. That GTR is just going to outpower the Porsche there, and Egon's going to settle right back in behind here. So here we go. A nice little 4-way battle here right now for 4th through 7th place. And it's led by Shredder currently. Ooh, little slide coming out of the corner there. Lucky Alpha takes a move on Death. Death was going to do the same thing on Shredder, but Lucky Alpha beat him to the punch. And as we head into Lesmo 1, it is going to be Lucky Alpha now moving up into 5th place, and that's going to put ATK's Death down into 6th position here. And as these 4 battle now, Miguel and Tron Kobe are getting into the mix here just up in behind. So Egon now sitting in behind here, and these guys are all jostling around from position. This is becoming a very soon-to-be 6-way battle as we head into Ascari here on lap 4. Ooh, hold on, chat. Hold on. It's about to get spicy. Alright, so we're in the middle of this battle right now. As Lucky Alpha gets through, Shredder gets through, Death gets through. Everybody looks like they get through nice and neat and tidy right there. Tron Kobe there. Where's our boy Nolander? Ooh, 30 seconds. Oh, he's made a pit stop. He's opted to make a pit stop. So here we go. Strategies are now at play. Alright, leader. He's long gone right now. ATB, he's, yeah, I'm coming into pit lane. All right, so he's getting off that racing hard tire here as well. We've got Fast Ginger now. He's going to move up into 2nd place with ATB coming into pit lane. That's going to move up the rest of the pack here as well. Lucky Alpha is starting to break free from that mid-pack battle here in behind him in 3rd place. We've got Shredder still leading the charge in that battle, and he has Death tucked right there. Looking up, he's got some clean air in that racing car, and again, just very good patient racing here so far from the Pro-Ams. Everything that's been a battle has been pretty precise and has been very, very well executed here so far tonight, and that's going to make for a spectacular race here. But as these pit strategies start to unfold, it's going to separate our pack a little bit in the middle part of the race, so we'll have a little bit of time to breathe, you know, refresh our bevies and stuff like that as well, or these guys will just battle it out hard all race long. But typically in the middle of these races, we see a little bit of the strategy part of the race coming into play. The drivers are focused in on their pace, they're focused in on their strategy, they're not trying to make mistakes, and they're trying to get the best lap in and lap out that they can around the racetrack, ideally without fighting too much so they don't lose any extra time battling. But this mid-pack, they're not thinking about that right now. This mid-pack is like, alright, this is fun, let's keep going here. So Shredder started to break free a little bit here. He's almost gotten out of the Mercedes. He got Mercedes on a slipstream range here, but again, that's going to close back up, I think, here as we enter into Ascari here. And here we go. Let's watch this again. So it's going to be Shredder here coming through. We got Death coming through. We got Egon. We got Tron. We got Miguel. ATB is 14 seconds behind them, and Nolander is just about 10 seconds in behind him here with the, well, first 2 drivers to make the pit stops here today. Nolander's strategy may have just been due to that spin, deciding to just get off that tire. Maybe they didn't feel comfortable underneath the BMW and racing conditions here tonight. We've got Sticky Bandit here in 1st position. We've got Fast Ginger here in the 3rd position. We've got Lucky Alpha in 3rd, sorry. Fast Ginger in 2nd. We've got VPR Shredder still leading that mid-pack here in 4th place. And he cannot shake that Mercedes. That Mercedes is just like, I got you. We're here. Look at us. We're all coming. Shredder's like, oh no, I'm out of here. Hold on, boys. Just give me a second here. We just got to get this all right. Death closing up under the brakes here. Here we go. Are we going to see an undercut? He is going to maybe take a look. Nope. He's just going to settle in and just keep it nice and neat and tidy here for the time being. But definitely an opportunity potentially presented itself there. It looked like he's maybe thought about it, and there we go. He is going to take that opportunity through Curva Grande, and Egon's going to follow on through, and Tron Kobe's going to try and take advantage there in that Death. Rewarded with patience right there, and he's going to move up a position into 4th place. He's now got Egon tucked in behind in 5th, and oh, Egon gets it a little bit wrong under braking there. He checks up and bottles up the pack a little tiny bit there, and we have Shredder and Miguel and Tron here in 8th, 9th, and 10th place. So we got a little bit messy there through the second chicane, but everybody's gotten through and safe and sound. So battle continues. Alright, Sticky Bandit very well in control here right now. 12.5 second lead over Fast Ginger here, who's got almost 6 seconds now over Lucky Alpha here in 3rd place. He has cleared that mid-pack battle, and he's been trying to chase down the leaders since. But by doing so has opened up a 4-second gap on that mid-pack battle. We have ATK's Death here. He's coming around right now in 4th place. He's got a half-second track limit penalty there. It's going to cost him about a second in the grand scheme of things. You can about double up that penalty based off where the serving zone is. So it's going to cost him about a second on track altogether to the drivers in behind. You can see Egon in 5th place here, closing that gap right down to just under 1.3 seconds. So just about a second there, as we suspected. Shredder still trying to close back in here in behind. He's got 1.5 seconds in behind Egon right now, who's currently sitting in 5th place. We got Miguel in behind him. 0.2 of a second is that gap. We got Trone here in 8th. We got ATB in 9th, and we got Nolander here up in 10th position. And again, don't discount this BMW because he clearly showed he had pace here tonight with a 150.7 on the hard tire in qualifying. Sticky Bandit here in the lead. He's chilling right now, looking like he's just having a good chill race. He is cruising, and we'll see how all the strategies play out here now. Fast Ginger in 2nd. Lucky Alpha still about in the same spot here in 3rd position. We got Death here as well in 4th, and this mid-pack still very close together here. So mid-pack very, very equally paced here tonight around Monza. Egon in 5th place. We got Miguel here in 6th with Trone Kobe closing back in here in 7th position. We got Shredder in 8th place here. We got ATB closing in. That was 14 seconds to that mid-pack when ATB came out of pit lane. It's now down to 4. And Nolander is still about 11 seconds in behind ATB. So he's not necessarily gaining on ATB right now, but he is definitely gaining on that mid-pack. Alright, so it is our race leader, and is he going to go around? He is going to go around. Let's jump on board with Sticky Bandit here for a minute. Let's do an onboard lap here on lap 8 with THG Sticky Bandit. 149.008 so far, fastest lap on track. Is of course set by our race leader here. And as he entered into turns 1 and 2, just fighting the car a little bit there. He had to really throw it in there. He's got to gather it back up on throttle here, and that's what's going to start to happen with these drivers as these tires start to break down a little bit. You can see it's not super hot outside, so the track isn't got a lot of sunshine beating down on it, which means that the track surface itself is probably a little bit cooler as well, which means that there's going to be a little bit less traction for these racing soft tires depending how cool that track is. So as the tires start to wear down is when that combination of racing track temperature, of course, outside temperature and tire condition really start to give the drivers something that they're really got to start to think about, especially at nearing the end of their stints. You know, they're getting on the throttle. They have to think about maybe just holding off an extra that split second just to make sure that they don't get that wheel spin, because that wheel spin when your tires start to degrade could really make or break your race sometimes, especially at Monza. These curbs are absolutely unforgiving here. You get onto that green painted surface on the outside of the actual curb, and it could just do all kinds of things to you, and you're along for the ride half the time. So Sticky Bandit having a good lap here. We've seen a little wiggle here and a little wiggle there, but looking real solid here in the race lead. And let's see if he comes into pit lane here. What is it on lap 8? So very, very close here. Potentially on a 2-stop strategy may be in the works here for this driver. We'll see. He's going to have to come into pit lane. So interesting. That leaves ATK Death coming around here, and as much of the same question for him as he comes around. He's got 28 seconds right now to the race leader up in front, so that is a pretty significant gap. We've got Egon here in behind, just under 2 seconds behind that Mercedes there with the Porsche here. Trone Kobe up into 4th position in the McLaren, and looking pretty good here so far on the track as well. We got ATB out now. He's made a stop, I believe. Yeah, he did. He made an earlier stop. Got Fast Ginger after making a pit stop here. We got Nolander now on the rear bumper of that orange McLaren up in front of him here, and it's a battle for 6th and 7th place. So the early pit strategy here for Nolander, starting to pull him back right into that mid-pack, and just when we think we're going to see the drivers separating, we're going to start seeing drivers group up and have little individual battles here at points in time as well. So that is what we're seeing right now. The question is Nolander going to get the run coming into the first chicane here? He's just going to settle in and just close up the gap here in behind Fast Ginger and try to get a good exit here. He gets a little bit of a short exit there, and he had to lift off the throttle a little bit there. It looked like he just had seen a slight hesitation in that BMW there when he went to sit on it, and that potentially may have been a little bit of turbo lag as well in that car, and that could be a dangerous effect in these turbo boosted cars as well, because it all of a sudden your turbo kicks in and your tires get real happy real quick, and sometimes that can throw the car free, and well, that usually has an end result of a spin, or you got to gather it up a little bit, which will cost you a little bit of time, whether it be a half a tenth, but half a tenth is half a tenth. And when you're racing for a championship, half a tenth matters on the laps. So, great racing here from our Pro-Am so far. Chad coming with that thumbs up on the stream. Appreciate you, my dude. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thinking of you, my guy. Thinking of you. Got Sticky here in 4th place. We got Nolander here in 5th. We've got Fast Ginger here in 6th. We've got Lucky Alpha here in 7th. We've got Death here in 8th place. We got Miguel in 9th. And we've got Shredda here in 10th position. So, it's going to be Egon here now with the race lead, but is he coming into pit lane? Absolutely is. So it's going to be Tron Kobe. ATV does not need to, as he picked quite a bit earlier, but he's got Sticky Bandit right on his, well, right underneath his rear tail fin here, basically. I mean, half a second, so a car length separating the two drivers here right now. Car length and a half, I guess. And let's see if Sticky closes up under the braking here. So here we go. Ooh, both cars take that curve pretty well there, so both cars are the exact same line, and look at that, they come out of the corner. Sticky Bandit gains about 2 tenths here, and this is a battle for the race lead here, so ATB is our current race leader, and Sticky Bandit's just come out of pit lane in behind ATB here, and it is fight on for these two. Sticky Bandit just getting some clean air underneath the front end of that racing car, just so he has what he's looking for once he hits his brake, and that is just smart racing we're seeing from these two here right now. And well, these two are no strangers to each other either on the racetrack, not just here at Roving Island, but in other great series across the GT7 platform here as well. So not too unfamiliar with each other, these two gentlemen. Alright, so that puts Nolander back up into 3rd place here. Fast Ginger in behind here in 4th place. That puts Lucky Alpha in behind him in 5th. 1.8 seconds that gap. Tron Kobe comes out. He's about 7 seconds in behind those drivers. We have Death in 7th place. Miguel very close behind there, just out of slip range in this GTR here in 8th position. Egon, much of the same thing, just outside that free pole. Oh, and as we say that, we got a Mercedes around. Oh, poor Death there. Again, Lesmo 2, and I bet you this is a green Kirby, not a Lesmo 2. We got a little early on the throttle here, I bet you, and just went a little bit wide, and there it is. You can see that rear tire just, and I mean just touch that artificial curbing, and unfortunately for Death and that Mercedes, he was just along for the ride right there, and you hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. ATB here in 1st place. He's going to go defensive here. Sticky Bandit is going to take it on the outside, but it is slingshot engaged. Can he get there? No, ATB is going to hold the position here coming into the corner. We're side by side through turns 1 and 2. Ooh, and a cutback coming. That was so beautiful. Look how close those two got. Millimeters were separating those two splitters right there. You couldn't have even slid a piece of paper between those two cars. This is some spectacular driving by these two guys right here, right now, and it is ATB applying the pressure here. Sticky Bandit got the job done. So, battle back on for the race lead here. And mid-pack battle, say what now? This battle for the lead is heating up. And, well, here we go. Sticky Bandit definitely putting that Lexus to its paces here today. And ATB is going to get a half-second track limit penalty there. And that is going to slow down the charge here a little bit too. Sticky Bandit up in front. But boy, oh boy, what a great battle going through turns 1 and 2 right here from our two drivers. Alright, chat is popping off. I can't even keep up with it. You guys are killing it. He needs to build as big a gap as he can. Yeah, he did a great job there, but he'll get a little gap help here now as that half-second penalty again is going to relate into a full second. So the gap is 7 tenths. 7 tenths at the penalty serving zone. Let's see how quickly that 7 tenths grows. No, it didn't grow that much. That was interesting. Interesting. Nolander in third place, 17 seconds. The gap to ATB and Sticky Bandit right now. We know Nolander is fast because he was our fastest driver in qualifying. He's our pole sitter here in the race. He just had a moment out of Ascari that cost him some time on the racetrack here, and he's been trying to make that time back up since. Nolander coming into pit lane as we were just talking about him there. And Fast Ginger coming through here in third place. That's going to put Lucky Alpha up into fourth, and Trone, as he's coming through Curve Parabolic here, in sixth place up into fifth place as well. Should also put Miguel up a spot here as he comes through the start-finish line to start his 12th lap of the race. And 12th lap, yep, that was right. You got Egon in 7th, we got Shredda here in 8th. Nolander still in pit lane, and Death is also going to come around and grab a position here from Nolander in 9th position, and opting not to make the pit stop there to get that car looked at. He says it must feel alright. He's just going to keep it on track and keep moving. Horrible time for a penalty. Isn't it always a horrible time for a penalty when you're in the battle for the lead? He did a great job at not losing much time, though. I don't know how. I don't know if Sticky Bandit had a penalty up ahead of him, maybe. That may have been the case, and we just didn't see it, but that was he only lost about a 10th there. So Sticky Bandit has a half-second gap here currently on ATB right now, and Fast Ginger's 18 seconds behind there now in third position. So this is definitely currently a two-way battle for the race lead here right now as we're approaching our midway point of the race. Got Fast Ginger in third place. He's got Lucky Alpha here behind in fourth. We've got Trone Kobe here in fifth. We got Miguel in sixth. We got Egon in seventh. We got Shredda in eighth. Got Death here in ninth, and we got Nolander after a pit stop coming back out in 10th position. So here we go. It's Sticky Bandit improving on his fastest lap with a 1:48.827. So the laps are getting quicker as these drivers now settle into almost a midway point of this race here now. ATV is getting that fuel service done. We've got Fast Ginger coming around here. It's going to be second place as he comes across start finish line. Lucky Alpha is going to move it up into third position here. Is Trone going to grab a spot up above ATB here? Depends how long that pit stop is. Miguel's also going to come across here, but it looks like ATB's been released. And here we go. Alright, we got that good old hot lap, pit lap traffic situation happening here again on the racetrack, and let's see how it all plays out. ATB actually gets out just enough ahead of Miguel there where he doesn't need to worry about taking it too short of a line there. Trone actually makes a mistake on the entry and exit of turn 1 and 2, and ATB actually benefits from that. He's going to grab that position from Trone, and he's going to move up into fourth place there. So Miguel now taking a look there up the inside as we head through Curve Grande here, and it's side-by-side action leading into our second chicane here on lap number 13. Miguel's going to get the spot leading into the braking zone here, and here we go. Battle pack on in the mid-pack just like that. Pit stop soup, it's over. Let's go have some fun, says the mid-pack. Shredda just off in the background there. He's starting to try and close back in on this pack, so he's one of those drivers that would really like to see these guys start fighting a little bit. He could benefit from that with just a little bit of free time gain. Got Death here in behind by, 11 seconds. Nolander closing in on Death there, just 7 seconds in behind him. Alright, our race leader, Sticky Bandit here. The race leader for the majority of the race here. But he is on much of a different strategy, so this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out for him here. Got Bobston Taylor coming in with that thumbs up on the stream. Welcome in. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here this evening. Fast Ginger in second place. Lucky Alpha here in third place. Got ATB, and he's now leading the charge of this mid-pack battle here in fourth position as he's come out of pit lane. Miguel chasing here in fifth. Trone not too far behind in sixth, with Egon in tow here in seventh. We got Shredda just 3 seconds behind here in eighth place, and then we just got a couple trailing drivers here, Death and Nolander. But you know, don't count these two out yet either. Sticky Bandit has a 20-second gap, so it was about a 28-second gap on his first pit stop sequence, and ATB was right there with him. So it's going to be, it really all comes down to how these final final pit stops happen. I mean, we're going to see another sequence of stops here yet, probably within 10 minutes of this, within the next 10 minutes of this race, and then we'll see what happens from there. Obviously, fuel is the big issue here. We had a driver lose podium in our AM race this week as well, literally running out of fuel just before the finish line. And last night in our Pro Division race, we had a driver who ran out of fuel about 150 meters to the start-finish line, going from 2nd to 4th place, and only getting 4th place due to a little bit of a friendly push from one of the drivers on track coming up in behind. So it is a Sticky Bandit here, and as we start lap 15, he's in control right now. It's hard. He's in a spot. I mean, yeah, as a racer, you like to have that gap. You like to be out in front. You have to have no, just do your thing and focus on your race. But at the same time, it becomes very easy to get complacent when you have that big comfortable gap and you got some fresh racing air and you got nothing in front of you. Nothing's happened around you for a while. You're just turning laps. It is hard to sometimes maintain that focus as well. So even though that he's not battling another driver on track right now for first place, he's now battling his focus, his mental mental strength, his physical strength and behind the race car to continue to maintain that consistency and momentum in order to continue to build that gap. Because the strategy that our race leader is on, that gap really is of utmost importance for race success here for him this evening. Fast Ginger coming out of pit lane there. Alpha right in behind. Nolander's just cruising up in behind these two here, and they're actually going to get into turn 1 and 2 just as Nolander's entering the braking boards there. So closing in quite quickly. That's going to come in. He's probably going to get that car attended to there. He's going to get that rear spoiler all fixed up. So 35 seconds is that gap here now between Sticky and ATB. 2.9 seconds to Egon, who's currently sitting in 3rd position. Trone's currently in 4th place there, with Shredda chasing in 5th, 1.5 seconds in behind him. Fast Ginger, after a pit stop, 15 seconds in behind those drivers, with Alpha in tow, and Nolander shaking him down in that BMW M6 here in 8th position. We got Miguel here in 9th place, and ATK's Death here in 10th position. That car is all fixed up. They got that rear aerodynamic package all locked back in, and that driver should be at what we would consider optimal racing condition, or the car should be in optimal condition to be ideally as fast as it can be here for the driver behind the wheel. Alright, so Sticky Bandit is moving and grooving here in 1st position. We got ATB here in 2nd. We've got Drone Kobe rocking and rolling here in 3rd place. We've got Shredda here in 4th. Both those two McLaren drivers coming in for a scheduled pit stop. Egon's coming around here. He's in 5th place. The screen says he's low on fuel. He's not. He's got quite a bit of fuel in that racing car here right now, currently on the track. We got Fast Ginger here in 6th place as well, with Lucky Alpha and Nolander closing in behind here in 8th place. He's been closing in on these two here little bit by little bit over the last lap and a half, 2 laps now as he comes around. And, well, I suspect by the end of this lap, if not by Ascari, we're going to see a good battle for this position. So we'll have to wait to see how everything plays out. But that is definitely what I foresee happening here in the immediate future between these two drivers, as Nolander's proving to have that pace. Again, fastest driver in qualifying. Alright, back to the race leader for a minute. Go see what's up to. Go make sure he hasn't fallen asleep at the wheel here yet, and just chilling out at Barrier. If it isn't El Bandito himself, I know, right? ATB here in 2nd position, and he needs to try and keep closing that gap. So Sticky Bandit's coming into pit lane here now. So the bigger question is, which compounded tire is Sticky Bandit coming out on? Is he going to opt to jump on the required tire, or is he going to continue on with the path of what the strategy appears to be here on the racetrack? Now is the time to make that decision. He's got a big enough cap this time around to potentially go on that hard tire and make that stint work and have that soft tire for the end and push for that race win. Got Egon here in 3rd place. Got Fast Ginger here in 4th position. We got Lucky Alpha here in 5th. We've got Nolander in 6th. We've got Miguel in 7th. We've got Trone in 8th. We got Shredda in 9th place. And we got ATK's Death here in 10th position. So it is ATB just edging out the race lead here on Sticky Bandit. So 38 seconds is not the magic number here for that gap, as ATB is going to find his way around. However, with that being said, this driver is going to need to, at some point, make a pit stop yet in this race. Sticky Bandit here in second position. We've got Egon here in third place. We've got Fast Ginger here in fourth position. We've got Lucky Alpha in fifth. And Nolander is right there in tow. He is just closing up the door the best he can here at this point, and trying to close back in on that GTR. But Lucky Alpha's doing a good job there so far, keeping that car ahead of that BMW. We got Miguel here in 7th place. He's got Trone Kobe right there, and Shredda here as well. So a little three-way battle here for 7th, 8th, and 9th place between these three drivers. And Trone Kobe is definitely closed right up there on the back of that GTR. So let's see if he can get something done here, maybe into the Lesmos or up in towards the Ascari. We'll stick with these three drivers here just for the time being. Let's move up into our 8th place driver, Trone Kobe, here as we head up into the chicane. Let's jump on our hood view here as we come through that second chicane there and start to chase down Miguel. You can see Shredder just settled in behind there right now. He's no immediate pressure. He's in a good spot, leaving a little bit of distance in case something goes wrong up front here. You never know. Racing is racing. And potentially maybe even be able to react and take advantage of both those drivers if they were to make a mistake. But right now it's patient driving here. And again, midway point of the race, we still have 17.5 minutes remaining. So we're going to see another set of pit stops, and then we'll see a dash to the checkered flag here for round 9 from there. So as we head up into Ascari here, you can see that slipstream coming into effect now. As you can see, that McLaren just started pulling all of a sudden a little bit quicker into the back of that GTR, and that is what that slipstream does, and he gets a great exit of Ascari there, and that is going to absolutely bring him right into the back of Miguel. Miguel is going to go defensive, yes. So Fast Ginger here, he's going to pull up, and again, just doesn't seem too worried about battling right now, and if the opportunity obviously arises, he may and has an easy window there, he may take it, but right now he doesn't seem too interested in forcing an unnecessary battle here with Miguel. And maybe not the worst of decisions here, as these drivers are 42 seconds in behind our race leader here currently. And here we go, side by side going into turn 1 and 2. Miguel going late in on the brakes, but that's going to give him a wide exit. Can Fast Ginger get the cut back? No, he cannot. He's just going to settle right back in behind that GTR. And there is Shredda, just still chilling, about a second in behind with his popcorn, watching it all go down. Just waiting, just assessing, seeing what's happening. These two doing a great job here right now on the racetrack, battling for 7th and 8th position. So Trone Kobe's doing a great job there, managing here in behind Miguel. Shredder closes up really good there into the second chicane, and this is very just like that. Became a three-way battle as we head through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. It's Trone Kobe, Miguel, and Shredder battling for, well, 7th, 8th, and 9th position. And the more these guys start to battle these little bits here, that's just good for our 10th place driver, Death, here in behind as well. As you can see, that time dropping between him and the 9th place driver, Shredda, as well. So let's go back and check out what's happening up front here. So ATB has a very slim lead here on Sticky, and we're going to see turn 1 and 2. Here we go all over again, side by side, as these two enter the chicane. And Sticky Bandit is going to get the job done here again, coming out of turns 1 and 2. So ATB is going to find himself settling back into second place here. And we are in a dogfight for this race lead right now with 15 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. And what a battle these two are having here on the racetrack right now as we enter into the second chicane. And that's it, side by side, little bit of rubbing there, side by side, another little touch there. Great battle in here between these two drivers, and wow, that is not easy to do. A couple little small butts of contact there. Sticky's going to move it back up in front here, up on the inside. ATB's going to settle back in. He's going to give him a little push through the corner there. And this is a very healthy battle here between two drivers that are very comfortable racing around each other, and it shows side by side through chicane number 2. Round of applause to these two gentlemen, because they are still moving forward on the racetrack and battling for that race lead here right now. So we got some great stuff happening right now between Sticky Bandit and ATB. And oh, the Pro-Ams always finishing off a race week in style, aren't they, folks? Great stuff. There's no love being lost here right now between these two competitors. This is battle mode, full engage. Gloves are off. I challenge you to a duel. Let's do this thing. This is on like Donkey Kong between this GTR and this Lexus here. It has been a blast, but boy, what a great battle between these two very equally matched drivers. And there we go. Oh, I thought we were going into pit lane, but they're just taking that real short line there. And who is going to have to pit first? Are they going to pit together? And who is going to make the mistake if a mistake is made in this battle? Because this is a doozy. I appreciate you stopping, my guy. I do appreciate you. Sometimes we just need to stop and take some time to reflect, my guy, and that's kind of what's happening right now. So it's just the way things, that's real life, man, And I do appreciate it. I do appreciate all the support. We get tons of support from this community, and it's nothing against the community by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, sometimes we just got to take a breath, just take a breath, and that's what we're going to do here for a little bit. We're not going anywhere. We're still going to be live streaming. We're still going to be doing our things. So just a little bit different here for a little bit. Alright, so it is Alpha here in 4th place. It's going to be Shredda here in 5th. It's going to be Miguel here in 6th. It's going to be Trone in 7th. It's going to be Egon here in 8th place. And we got Death and Nolander looking like they're going to be making their final stops of the race here. Oh, Nolander's picked up a little bit of front nose damage there, so that's not ideal. And he has got a pretty banged up throttle foot right now, Mr. Nolander. So opting that he was okay, good enough to get on track and race that BMW around this track here today. So props to him for fighting through an injury here. And we've seen that from a couple of drivers this season. They just love to race. And, well, I mean, clearly it takes a little bit more than a fairly serious injury sometimes to slow these guys down, that's for sure. So it's going to be ATB that's going to come into pit lane first. Alright, so here we go. The pit strategies are all starting to play out here now. We've got Fast Ginger here in 3rd position. There's a little 12 minutes left on the clock, and he is definitely going to have to hit the stop one more time, much like Alpha here as well in 4th. Shredda, maybe you're probably gonna have to stop. If we're basing it off what we're seeing from last race, maybe about a splash and dash short potentially. Drone here, he's gonna have to make a stop. We got Egon. Egon has just come out of pit lane here. Looks like a lap ago. Currently sitting in 8th place, and so far he's the first driver on track that I can comfortably say he's probably got enough to get to the end. And much of the same for Nolander and Death here. So the last 3 drivers that stopped here are now trying to set up that final run. So they stopped early, get those cars serviced, get those tires on, and get that fuel in that tank, and just send it here for the last 11 minutes of this race. And see where they end up in the grid when that checkered flag waves now. So Sticky Bandit here has a 17.6 second gap over Fast Ginger. Lucky Alpha here has 7 seconds in behind Fast Ginger. He's 24 seconds in behind the race leader. ATB's only 35 seconds in behind the race leader here right now. Shredda is 10 seconds in behind ATB. Drone Kobe here in 6th place. We got Egon here in 7th. Miguel in 8th. We've got Nolander here in 9th position, and Death here in 10th place. Alright, so pretty good grooving race here. That battle for those race leaders there over the last 3 or 4 laps was incredible, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen after this final pit stop here. Who's about to run out at the line? Oh, well, I almost got my bet on Shredder right now. If what I'm seeing is correct, he may be a couple laps short though. So Ginger coming into pit lane here right now. Is Alpha going to follow suit? Yes, Alpha's also going to come into pit lane. We know this guy's not coming into pit lane, so he's going to move back up into 2nd place. And right now the target is back on that Lexus driver of Sticky Bandit up in front. So here we go. Here we go. This is setting up to be about a final 3 or 4 lap battle here between Sticky Bandit and ATB, I think. I'm telling you, pencil it in. Shredder's coming into pit lane right now. Trone's going to go around again here. We got Egon here in the 7th position. We've got Miguel in 8th. We've got Nolander in 9th. And we've got Death here rounding out the field. And, well, all the drivers still on track, so we'd love to see that. Monza has not taken any of our drivers out here in the Pro-Am division tonight. Sticky is putting on a show, isn't he, Jesse? Isn't he? Absolutely. Alright, however, though, he does owe that mandatory tire still here tonight, so he has not used that Racing Hard tire yet, and is going to have to finish this race off on that Racing Hard tire. ATB has used the mandatory tire in his first stint and is now on that Racing Soft tire here in his second stint. 36 seconds is the gap. Now, we're not going to see a full fuel stop this time from Sticky Bandit, meaning that he's most likely not going to be in pit lane this time for 40 seconds. It's probably going to be more along the lines of about 25 to 30 second pit stops. So it is going to be close at the end. That I can definitely say. That I can say. That's just the way it is shaping up. I mean, you can't script this. It's just the way it happens in this Pro-Am division for real. Fast Ginger here in 3rd place. We've got Trone Kobe here in 4th position. Trone is having a fantastic race here tonight. We got Egon here in 5th place. We've got Lucky Alpha in 6th position as well. We've got Miguel in 7th. We've got Shredda here in 8th. We've got Nolander in 9th place. And our boy Death here in 10th position. And that is a sexy orange car right there. We appreciate all the support shown by the driving community for Truth and Reconciliation Day up here in Canada over the past weekend as well. Just a sim racing community coming out to show that, you know, we know and it does matter. So here we go. Trone Kobe coming into pit lane, 1% fuel for Trone that time around, so cut it very close, cut it very, very close. So we're going to stick with Sticky here. It doesn't look like he's opting to come in quite yet. I assume he's going to run this car quite low on fuel before he opts to come in, so he can take the minimum amount of fuel needed to get through his race here on that, well, that Racing Hard tire. It's going to be the hardest tire. It's going to be tough going, so you want to get the lightest possible race car underneath of you as you can, and that is why we see the drivers typically that start up at the front of the pack start on the faster tire and finish on the harder tire, because if you can do what Sticky's been working on trying to do here in this race and building that gap over your competitors, you're going to come on that much harder tire to drive on and maintain speed and pace at over the field on those faster tires. But without that, additional 60 or 70 liters of fuel sitting in your tank as if you were to start the race on those tires, it's going to be a lot less painful, and you may be able to just have enough underneath the grip factor there to hold off a soft tire runner pressing at the end of the race. So here we go. This is why we're sitting on ATB right now. We've been waiting for that pit stop to come in from our race leader. He has now come out. They've released him. ATB is just coming around curve parabolica here right now across the start finish line, and now it's time to see what that gap truly is as he rips down the track here. So time is still diddling down here, and it's under 10 seconds. So we were about correct on that assessment of about 25 to 30 second pit stop here for this final pit stop from Sticky Bandit. It was about a 31, 32 second pit stop, it looks like there. So the gap is 8.2 seconds. The time, 5 minutes, 35 seconds. Does he have enough in the tank of that GTR to make something happen by the end of this race? Fast Ginger in 3rd place. He is fighting himself here right now. Podium position right there in front of him. He just needs to bring the car home in one piece. And Egon here in 4th place. Not so comfortable here. He's got Lucky Alpha right there in behind in 5th place. And potentially is going to have to defend off this driver here before the end of this race to try and hold that 4th place position here as well. As you can see, Alpha is very, very close in tow here as we come into that second chicane. And he has closed right up on the back of that Porsche as they come through turns 4 and 5 here. So heading into Lesmo 1 and 2, Egon still maintaining about that half-second gap for the time being over Lucky Alpha. We got Miguel here in 6th position. Shredda here from Victory Pace Racing in 7th position. And he's been doing good, but he's got Nolander chasing him down here in 8th place now. Tron Kobe just in behind here in 9th. And Death here isn't that far off in 10th position. His race, there is positions to be gained potentially for him as well. It's racing. There's still 4.5 minutes on the clock, and anything can happen. You think Guardian's got it, Chad? Gap's down to 7.6. Gap's down to 7.6. It's not enough time takeaway there on that flying lap there between the two. ATB's going to have to really step it up here in this next lap and really dig into that time if he wants to have a shot here. We've got Fast Ginger in 3rd place, and Fast Ginger is just chilling right now. He's got 13 in front, 13 in behind. He's just got to, like I said, keep it right and tight. He's got that 3rd place finish wrapped up here tonight. Lucky Alpha has managed to find his way around Egon here. He is going to move up into 4th place, and Egon now finds himself chasing Lucky Alpha here in 5th place. We've got Miguel in 6th position. He's not in no man's land, but he definitely doesn't have anything to worry about up in front of him at the moment. Right now, this car in behind here from VPR he's got to be as concerned about 1.8 seconds in behind. Not too close to put immediate pressure, but not a comfortable gap at the same time. Nolander also coming here in that BMW, and he's got 1.5 seconds on those drivers up in front. Tron Kobe is in the slipstream of that BMW, also coming to those drivers up front. So it is definitely not over when it comes to who is going to finish where in this race. You can see Death just coming in there. You can see those drivers still as well. So at the end of a race, if there is any motivation for a racer, it is seeing another car up in front of you with the clock dwindling down. I don't know, your foot just seems to push the gas a little bit harder all of a sudden. But it is Sticky Bandit here, and there we go. Now we're seeing ATB dig in here a little bit. He's knocked out 2 seconds this time around. And as we head through Parabolica, the gap is 5.8 seconds on the entry of the corner. So as we come across the start-finish line, we're going to have 2 to go here. And the gap is 5.3 seconds. So if he maintains the pace he's at now, it is going to be close. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Alright, Fast Ginger here in 3rd place, nothing down there. We got Lucky Alpha and Egon here still in 4th and 5th position. And no battling happening currently right there. We've got Miguel and VPS Shredder right here. Shredder's closing the gap, so might see some battling happening between those two yet. Tron Kobe is just lost a little bit of touch with those two drivers, but definitely is still there in the conversation. Nolander, much of the same thing, just lost a little bit of time there. At some point there in the early part of the racetrack, and Death now closing in. So here we go. It's about to get interesting. There we go. Gonna throw Cohen up in front of that GTR there. We're playing shadow games here now. We're throwing distract tactics out there. Let's just throw Pylon out in the racetrack there. See if we can lose him a 10th. No, I'm kidding. Just here we go. 3.8. Halfway around this racetrack here, and ATB's dipped in another second and 3/4 here. He needs to dig harder. I don't know if that pace is going to be quite enough. Fast Ginger here in 3rd place. We got Lucky Alpha in 4th, and Egon still right there in tow in 5th place. And I don't necessarily know if this one's done yet here either. One little bobble from any one of those two drivers, and that could be a position swap. Much of the same thing between 6th and 7th place drivers, Miguel and Shredder here as well. We got Tron here in 8th position. We got Nolander in 9th, and boy, has he closed up quickly. And now he's hunting for fastest lap on the racetrack here as well, as he had that purple coming into the corner there, and Death is closed right back in on this pack as well. So, boy, what a great race from our Pro-Am drivers here tonight. Sticky Bandit's going to come across with 3.2 seconds on the clock, and it is final lap here for our race leader and chaser here, ATB, and it's 3 seconds. He has got to send it now. We've got Fast Ginger here in 3rd place, and he is going to come across and get one more run around the racetrack here as well. We got Lucky Alpha and Egon coming across, and they're going to take one more time around the racetrack here. White flag racing for both these two, and battle on here for last lap number 27 here in our Pro-Am lobby tonight. Miguel and Shredder coming through here, and by the time these drivers come through, that will be a race finish for this group of drivers, and we will most certainly go get back and see what's happening up front here in just a moment. The Bandit promised me a win, and I do think he's a man of his word, says Stoppy. Ooh, well, he has a great strategy working for him here, but boy, ATB's no slouch. All right, Miguel here in 6th, Shredder in 7th. And there we go. Hold on. Let me take a look at what we got here. We got 2 seconds going into Ascari. All right. Got a battle there between Egon and Lucky there as well for 4th and 5th place. But here we go. Coming into Ascari is almost slipstream range. ATB has potentially done enough to make an attempt here moving into curve parabolica. It's all about the exit here. Sticky moves directly on the other side of the racetrack, trying to break that slipstream, and here we go. He's going to move back across, and it is game on. Here we go. This is going to come down to the final corner and a very short run to the start-finish line here to see who's winning round 9 tonight. And Sticky Bandit may have done just enough. ATB's closing in here. The gap is closing, but is it enough? I don't think he's going to have enough racetrack here. He's going to run out of room. It's going to be Sticky Bandit for a very close, hard-fought win. And ATB here in 2nd position. Ginger coming around here, 16 seconds in behind as he hits curve parabolica. He's going to take a P3 home here for himself tonight as well. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. Oof, got me all excited. Got a tickle in my throat. We got Alpha and Egon battling for 4th and 5th place here, and it's nose to tail as we come around curve parabolica here. And that is some tight racing here up in the front half of this pack, and it's going to be Lucky Alpha just edging out Egon, as Egon is our final driver to cross that checkered flag here in 5th place in our race tonight. And ooh, what a doozy. What a doozy. Alright, so it is THG Sticky Bandit with the race win, and boy was that close. 0.3 of a second ATB had left to go to try and make something happen there, and it's going to be a very close 2nd place finish for Apex Sim Racing's Guardian. Fastest lap does belong to Sticky Bandit also with a 48.8, so that bonus point going to go right over to that Lexus driver. Fast Ginger is going to round out the podium here tonight with a 3rd place finish. It's going to be Lucky Alpha there in 4th, Egon in 5th, Miguel there in 6th, Shredda in 7th, Trone in 8th. It's going to be Team Rad's Nolander in 9th and ATK's Death there in 10th. And really all it came down to for those 2 drivers was one mistake on the racetrack tonight. It took one mistake from both those drivers at the back tonight, and that is what it cost them here tonight. Well done, Sticky and ATB. What a race. Great win, Sticky. Solid races, Miguel and Shredda. Hey, that was good racing all around. Absolutely good racing all around right there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, what can we say? That was exciting. That was exciting. That's what we could say from those drivers. I just got to give you a second to get up my Discord server here, ladies and gentlemen, so we can get up into an interviewing position. And we're going to go talk to those podium finishers, and wow, every week these drivers just never, ever let us down. They just never let us down. Alright, Discord, we just need a little love. Good job, guys. Good job, TT. Let's go, Humble, guys. Nice drive, Sticky. GG's ATB almost had it. That was a good push. That was a good push. He closed up. He almost closed up a full 3 seconds there. So it was a great push there from ATB. All right, we're gonna move over to the podium screen. We're gonna let you check on last week's highlights from Nürburgring GP here while we wait for our drivers to come and say a few words to everybody about how well tonight's crazy action on the racetrack was. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. After some beautiful highlights from last week's round at Nürburgring GP, we are going to go have a chat with our drivers that put on such an incredible show for us here from Monza. Alright, welcome into our top three. Congratulations, gentlemen. That was some absolutely spectacular racing out there. Well, on a very tough, hard, fast racetrack here tonight. So, let's jump right into it too. Fast Ginger, our third place finisher here in the race. Qualifying, definitely up there by fighting for the top end spots there for a while near the end of the qualifying. But man, this pack was quick here this week. And then the race kicks off, and great race strategy here coming from Fast Ginger, finding himself up in P3. So congratulations on a great race for yourself. Talk us through how the night was for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we qualifying, I think I was about as good as I could do with the McLaren. It's got doesn't have quite the straight line speed that the Nissans had in those. The one good thing is that thing is really good off the line, so got a good start. But so yeah, I was hoping. I wasn't sure where I was going to qualify, but qualified pretty well. Got a good start, and everything looked clean, and then just settled in there in fourth place, I think it was. And then I believe it was Nolander lost it in one of the corners, so I picked up a spot there. I started on hards, and I was just going to do a 3-stop with hards and then three things of soft. Pitted on lap 6. I had probably one more lap left, but I just wanted to try to extend that because I knew I needed the laps at the very end, not at the beginning. So, yeah, so it was just a matter of trying to stay out of trouble, trying to mitigate or not make any mistakes. So that's what we did. Just kept it clean, got no track limit penalties, no damage. Did get bumped a couple of times, but no farm, no foul on those. Just I let him go by because I knew he was a little bit faster than I was, so I let him go through. He was on a different pit strategy than me as well, so I just let him go. And yeah, everything kind of worked out well. I had nothing for first and second place. They were just in a league of their own on that one, so I was happy to have third for sure.
Absolutely, and at the beginning of the races, let's talk about that mid-pack battle. I mean, you a good 6-car battle going on there for through laps 2 through about 4 or 5 until you guys kind of started to settle into your race paces and sort yourselves out. I mean, how was that battle? I mean, you guys were swapping positions almost through every other corner and having to deal with that dirty air in such a fast, hard racetrack. I mean, talk us through that mid-pack battle early on in the race.
Yeah, that's just a matter of respecting the other drivers, knowing that you were in the dirty air, so you probably needed just that little bit extra spot for braking distance, just to keep from running into each other. And also, you might give up a little bit on pit entrance to get a little bit on the pit exit, or not pit, but the corner entrance, a little slower in and a little faster out. So yeah, it was just a matter of just watching out for each other, trying to take advantage of what you can, and the dirty air, just be careful of that and the braking zones, but then also take advantage of any mistakes that the other drivers might make, which, every once in a while you go a little bit wide, get a little bit of those gravel traps, and you can take advantage of that. Some dirty tires. I know there was a couple of people went wide and had dirty tires, so we were able to make some passes on that too. So yeah, it's just a matter of trying to keep it clean, but keep it respectful, but also put the pressure on them. I mean, that's one thing to do as well, is just keep pressure on the person in front of you so that they make mistakes.
Absolutely, and that is really the case, isn't it? Especially when it comes to sim racing here on Gran Turismo 7. I mean, it could be the fastest driver, they could be a cool, calm, collected driver, but for some reason, when you have somebody just in your rearview mirror for an extended period of time, it happens. You make that one small little mistake, you look at the wrong time to see where that driver is and behind you, and all of a sudden you realize you just missed your braking point, and you go a little bit wide, and you give up that position to the driver. So, I mean, are you thinking about all those things as that's going on, or are you just kind of like tunnel visioned in and just looking for the next spot where you want to put your car?
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep calm basically, and not overdrive the car, because that's that'll get you in the most trouble, is overdriving, trying to dive deeper into the corner than what you're used to doing. Because if you drive the car differently, then you're more than likely to mess up. So I think the best thing to do is just drive your race and not their race. And if you brake in a certain, just brake there every time. Don't try to outbrake or do anything like that. Or like I said, maybe do that a little bit. Back off just a little bit so you can get a little better exit. So yeah, it's a little bit of gamesmanship in that manner, but it's also I think just keeping calm, and then just know that it's a 50-minute race and you can't just win it all in one corner. You have to take your time, make your spots, and also kind of learn where you're better than the others. Because there for a long time I had somebody, I think it was Alpha, was behind me, and I knew in the first half of the lap I could gain a half second on him, and in the second half of the lap he gained that half second back. So I could, after a lap or two, I was like, okay, I can see this ebb and flow back and forth. I know where I'm a little stronger than he is, and he was a little stronger than me. But if I can maintain that gap, then I can keep that spot, and not, if I get a little, don't get nervous seeing that he's getting closer. Just know that that's the second half of the lap. He's going to be closing in, and on the first part of the lap, I'll stretch it out. So that's kind of learning other people's strengths and weaknesses as well is a good thing to do as well.
Absolutely. I mean, touch base on that every once in a while during the races too. Is sometimes you see drivers just sitting patient behind another driver for multiple laps, sometimes a half hour at a time, and really that's essentially what the drivers are doing to each other. You're assessing each other, you're kind of checking each other's lines out. Maybe you're learning something from that driver at a spot where you're struggling as well at the same time. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're always looking for that perfect spot to make that decisive move and execute. But you did what you had to do here tonight, and you came out with a strong third place finish. And I guess with that being said, any final remarks on the racing here tonight, and any shout-outs you'd like to throw out to the viewers watching at home?
Yeah, no, I was, also that was another thing in the back of my mind is that, I wanted to, I didn't feel I could win the race, but I wanted to get up as fast as I could, because we do have just one more race left here in the championship, and I was up there, and I'm up in the third spot, I believe, or close to, first, second, and third. We're all pretty tight there, I'd say, and even down fourth, fifth, and sixth. It's all probably pretty tight. So it was a matter of trying to maximize the points for this evening as well for the overall championship, and it also helps that the next race double points, and also I think it's an inverted starting grid based on your ranking for the championship. So it'll be a tough one for next week, starting at the back at a very long, unfamiliar track for most people, for sure. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. And some shout outs, D. Racing, for giving us this event, and these races have been spectacular. You, GT45's channel, for hosting this and putting it on. You, Ghost, yourself, for everything that you've done for us behind the scenes and during the races. I couldn't do it, and it's just a spectacular job. We appreciate everything you do. And then all the staff that are in the background that nobody hears from or sees. I know that they do a ton of work with all the stewarding and all the decisions that are being made behind the scenes. That can't be easy at all, and we appreciate all of those things too. And then all of my teammates and fellow drivers, we were talking before the race about how this group is really, it's a really good camaraderie with all of us, and we will definitely, throughout the week, we get into lobbies and race each other and help each other out, and so it's just been a great group of people to race with, for sure. And then a thanks to YouTube and Facebook for giving us a platform to put this on, and for the races. And yeah, shout out to all the drivers that are in the race that make it so great. And then all the viewers that show up to watch our races. We appreciate that as well.
Very well said. We appreciate that, and congratulations on again a very strong third place finish here for you in the second last race of the season. And with that being said, we'll let you get to those two teammates there. TT third, fourth, and fifth place finish here tonight too, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
So
good showing.
we'll let those guys get back to the clubhouse, and we'll go have a little celebration while we go and head up to our second place finish here. So we appreciate the time for you taking to come and talk with us in the booth, and maybe
No problem.
maybe we'll be chatting with you next week.
I'm hoping so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, these two put on a show at the end of the race for us. And it all starts with the driver who ended up finishing ultimately at the end of that show in second place. It was a charge to the checkered flag here from Apex Sim Racing's Guardian. And this man has been fighting and pushing hard all season long, battling hard for the top of the point standings, and finding himself with a really great finish here tonight in second place at a track that probably suited his car fairly well here at Monza. But I mean, great racing. Let's talk about that race tonight. You had a great qualifying. You were battling hard up there for that pole position, in amongst with a handful of drivers really that were swapping that back and forth at qualifying. You get onto the grid, you guys get started, you get nice and you get through so nice and clean and quickly, and immediately this division just goes to work. They go to racing, and I mean, it was just hard work and pushing hard, and a good strategy here for you tonight. We've seen that alternative strategy we've been seeing coming out of you here lately as well for this race, and almost paying off with the top step. But pretty satisfied with second place overall here tonight. How the race went?
Yeah, for sure. Satisfied with it. You know, like you said, I was driving the wheels off that Nissan at the end. I just made, one little mistake with a limits penalty and didn't get cleanly through some of the corners as I wanted. But, like I said before, that's racing, and, kind of it is what it is. But yeah, like that, I was talking with a couple of the other Apex guys, just kind of doing some last minute strategy, not calls, but just kind of, going back and forth. And I believe it was Bo brought up he double stinted tires, and I wasn't quite too confident in that, but I did a couple practice stints with double stinting and got about as comfortable as I could with that, and just knowing that would kind of knock 6-7 seconds or so off of the time that it took to complete that in a pit stop. And it, I'm not sure if Sticky did something similar or just his pace. But yeah, it, again, another kind of like all-around strategy. But, like we've said before, I just kind of went in knowing what strategy I was going to do. If I had qualified up on the front row, I think I was going to kind of swap a hard and soft tire out, just to kind of shake it up, since I'd be, further up the pack. But I was thinking starting third, I was like, man, I'm a little further back to kind of go for it, just in case something happens on turn one or somewhere else, and I kind of start burning up those tires quicker than I thought. But yeah, just kind of stuck to my guns, and like I've said, just kind of went to see what happened at the end, and the checkers drop.
Absolutely. And were you aware that he was on an alternative strategy himself? I mean, were you did you have did you have it in the back of your mind that he was potentially going or on that hard tire in that final stint?
I had figured that that's why he was able to pull away like he did at first, was that he started on the softs being, on the front row. So I was like, okay, he's pulling away pretty quickly, unless he was just hiding some speed from us in qualifying. But I was like, he's got to be on the softs. And then I was like, okay, he's, doing his thing, do my thing. And then when we kind of would come out, in the pits side by side going down in a turn one, I was like, okay, I think our strategies will kind of mirroring each other. And that, it'll be kind of like a dash to the finish. And I just was like, all right, let me just, especially when I got in that last stint, I was like, all right, let me just, give myself a little extra fuel and just go for it.
Absolutely, and we were touching base as you two were just driving nose to tail. I mean, literally nose to tail. At points, it looked like you two were pushing each other up and down the racetrack as well. But we were touching base. Yourself and Sticky Bandit also not overly unfamiliar with each other on a racetrack either. I mean, you're very familiar with racing each other not only in this series but in other series throughout the Gran Turismo 7 platform. And does that really contribute to how hard and how clean you guys were really battling through some of the toughest corners in this racetrack side by side, nonetheless?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, driver familiarity is always kind of top of my list, knowing how we can push, where we can push, especially in those couple turn one um, passes and attempts that we had on each other. Um, yeah, like there was one of the times like I was going in there and I had looked down after we gotten through the corners and realized I didn't have my radar on, and it was just kind of those things where it's like, didn't even have to worry about it, didn't even cross my mind. So yeah, that's huge to me, just kind of knowing what your opponent will kind of do, but knowing that both of you will get, both of you get through cleanly, and you know not having to worry about picking picking any grass or gravel out of your car at the end of the race is, like I said, is huge.
Absolutely, and I mean, it showed on the racetrack. I mean, what a show! What a show you two really did put on for the viewers at home. The chat was on fire tonight. I mean, what a great race in the Pro-Am division. Not just our 3 podium finishers, the whole division. Again, just an outstanding performance, and absolutely setting off our racing week with a bang like they always do. And you've been finding yourself fighting for the top ranks of the podium here for a large part of the season. So small improvements from season to season here. We're now in our 4th season here on the GT45 hosting side of things, and fighting for a championship this season. So I mean, overall enjoying the run and enjoying the experience, and how you've been handling the pressure as the season's now drawing towards an end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, coming into this, that was my goal. Was if I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to pan out with everything. But yeah, when I found out I was in Pro-Am, I was like, okay, I've been here, I've raced with a lot of these other drivers before, and I was like, okay, I'm confident in my car, confident on 90% of the tracks we're on. Yeah, let's go in and try and at least get be top 3 when the season's end. And yeah, like you said, speaking like of pressure, I try not to let that get the better of me. Sometimes I've been able to shake it off, sometimes not. But that's just something I went into, especially when the points were kind of panning out. It was like, okay, I'm here. Let me keep just plugging away, do the best I can, practice as much as I can, try and find that extra pace to make sure that I'm towards the top of the table when everything's said and done. And as of right now, that's where I'm still aiming and what I'll be working for towards next week. Especially kind of familiarizing myself with the track I'm not too familiar with. I ran it a handful of times, but I know if I get some decent seat time and able to kind of figure out the odds and ends of the track, especially with my fellow Apex teammates, I know I'll have as good of a showing as I can next week.
And we really don't doubt that for a second. I mean, you've been showing a great pace on the racetrack all season long, a great skill behind the wheel of that Nissan GTR all season long as well, and look like you're just locked in and dialed in, and ready to fight every week when you get on the racetrack, and that's important. Confidence coming into the racetrack is always a great thing as well. So, we definitely appreciate the great racing coming from this division, and yourself included. And I guess with that being said, any final remarks on your race this evening, and any shoutouts you'd like to throw out there for the viewers watching at home?
Yeah, just as far as the final remarks, just I want to give Sticky just a congrats on the win. That was a great fight we had, and hopefully we can duplicate if we find ourselves in a similar position next week, and that goes with everyone else on the grid. I know it'll be starting towards the back and working my way through, and just kind of looking forward to what what we all got and what we all can show, and like I said, just kind of put on the best show we can. But yeah, as far as shout outs, of course, my Apex teammates, especially Bo helped me with strategy, and Jakey, and I can't remember if I got. I think Heathen and Soup I was on a track with this week too, just kind of doing some practices and stuff, and just give a shout out to Soup for him, driving for his championship over in the AM division, and then just everyone up in the pro division, showing what they got. But and then a real important shout out today. It's my co-driver and chief engineer. It's her first birthday, so obviously want to give her a shout out and say happy birthday. And I'll make sure we'll kind of watch the replay tomorrow with a fine tooth comb and see what we can learn.
Absolutely, and just congratulations on a hard-earned second place finish here tonight, a very well-earned second place finish, and well, happy birthday to the little one as well. We love to hear that. So, with that being said, you know what? We'll let you get back to that amazing family of yours and celebrate with that crew chief of yours there.
Sounds good. Like I said, catch you guys next week.
Sounds good, brother. Appreciate the time as always.
Of course, you're welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour. He went big. He went bold. He pushed hard in qualifying. Couldn't quite find himself in that pole position. It was just stolen away from him from Nolander. But at the end of the night, comes across that checkered flag first, and just a swirly little exhaust fume away from ATB, really trying to take that away from him there at the end of the race. But absolutely great racing from you here tonight. That Lexus has been an up and down season for you here so far this season. But boy, oh boy, you got a racetrack that really suited that car here this week with Monza, and it looked good, and you look good out there. How did that car feel around the track?
Oh, it felt pretty good. I was pretty consistent. I knew any battles whatsoever throughout the race was gonna get in trouble. So I either wanted to be where I was up front or be at the very back after qualifying. And to be honest, I didn't know where everybody was gonna qualify, being as we were running on hards. So yeah, fortunately I got up front and threw on the softs, and away we went.
Absolutely, and like you said, you kind of had, I guess, two strategies in your mind then, based off how qualifying was going to go. So, obviously, qualifying went the way it went, and you decided to go with the reverse strategy. And it just so happened that ATV, who ended up being the driver that was really putting the pressure on the battle for first place here tonight, was on the exact image opposite of the strategy of you, and of course. The way that worked out, just with the pit stops and such equal pace between the two of you here tonight, it really worked out for an absolutely great battle in the final few laps of the race. And I mean, we spent a lot of time practicing and working hard for these races and getting ready to prepare for these championship races, these league races. Is it these types of battles that really make it all worth it, maybe even more so than a win?
Oh, it was definitely exciting. That's for sure. Coming out of my last stint, I knew I had to push, and I had I think 8 seconds or something, 8 or 9 seconds, and then after the first lap, it was down to 6 or 7, and I knew that pace was either going to be catching me and passing me, and I was going to be in trouble, or I was going to hold them off. And I was watching the gap, and I try not to watch it, but you can't help it. So I was watching it, and it made me a little bit nervous. And then I saw one lap there where he must have made a mistake, or I think he took a penalty, like he said, and then that was the difference. He would have caught me. He was pushing hard. It was super fun, super scary, super entertaining, all of the above. Got me sweating.
And I mean, in that particular battle between you two specifically, especially, we noticed you really felt comfortable heading into turn 1 and 2 and making that move on the end of that very long straight run. Is it just something you picked up upon while you're doing your testing and tuning, or is that just experience on this racetrack for yourself? But I mean, you made two very great solid passes on ATV in amongst that battle between the two of you. within what I think it was 2 3 laps apart from each other, on the outside leading into the chicane and getting the job done coming out. So was that kind of the spot that you had triggered in as your execution spot?
Well, I definitely like that side as opposed to the inside, and it's just full respect to the other drivers. They're so aware, and I try and give them as much room, and everybody's so clean, so it works out, and we're able to do those kind of moves with I think with confidence. I mean, even if there's a little bit of bumping, it's just coincidental, and nobody's getting in there to pit you and bump you off. So it's fun being able to do that, quite honestly.
Absolutely. And I mean, technical racetracks, fast racetrack, and absolutely great racing from the whole division here tonight. I mean, there was hard fought battling in behind, of course, yourself while you were trying to open that gap up on your alternative strategy there. And were you more than aware what the kind of that time gap was based off how much fuel and a tire stop was? I mean, did you have all that kind of information based? Kind of in the back of the filing cabinet, so to speak, while you're in the race car after your testing and tuning, or was that just something that you kind of, started to figure out on the fly as the race was kind of unfolding here tonight?
Well, I did do a lot of testing, so I knew what I wanted to do for my strategy, and I just totally stuck to it. I had no idea what other people were doing, and at one point I was in fourth, and then back in second, and we were bouncing all over, and then getting near the end, I knew things were tightening up. So yeah, like I say, I just stuck to my strategy, and geez, fortunately it paid off, and I think yeah, like you say, it was the mirror of Apex Guardian there, and that was intense.
Absolutely, and I mean, you had the fans. You two had the fans absolutely on the edge of their seats there in the race tonight. They weren't sure who was going to call it first. They thought it was going to be ATV, and then they said no, Sticky's going to hold him off, and then ATV started pushing like, oh, he's going to get him, and then you held him off, and I mean, 3/10 of a second gap. We have had some close finishes this season, especially for podium positions, but I think that may be one of the best battles and best pushes for a first place, second place battle this season. And I mean, is that your closest race finish for yourself this season as far as battling for that position right to the start finish line goes?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. I mean, like I say, if it wasn't for that, I guess ATV was just pushing hard, trying to catch me, and he was catching me. Caught a half second, and that's all it took. That's what did it, or else he would have caught me. So big shout out to ATV for a good race, and well, everybody on the grid. Thank all the guys.
Absolutely, and I mean, it was just it honestly was a great display of how to race so close together, in behind nose to tail, side by side through very difficult sectors, through multiple corners going in multiple directions. It really is a lot of fun to watch, not only as a viewer but as a broadcaster, and of course as all our race officials and everybody else behind the scenes watching things unfold as well here at the track. But these may be quote unquote pro am division drivers here in this particular series. But I tell you what, some of these drivers, Sticky Bandit being one of them, ATB being one, CB Matt being one of them as well, definitely I think on the bubble of moving up into that next pace level and starting to see these guys moving up into pro division racing pretty soon. So, I guess is that kind of your goal right now as a racer? I mean, you're very comfortable in your pace, and it shows. It seems like no matter what car you jump into, and no matter what league it is you're racing, and you just seem to have that good, subtle, calm consistency about your practice and your methods and how you prepare for your races. So, I mean, I guess ultimately is that your goal as a sim racer? Is it to try to move up into that next pace level, or are you quite happy where you're at with the competition you're receiving right now?
Well, I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, I always want to get faster and move up and get up with the fast guys. But I mean, doing that, of course, you're going to be the bottom of the pile on the next heap up, which that's the only way you're going to get better and get experience. But I'm quite enjoying running with these fast guys because everybody's right on pace, and it's fun being up in the top half, if you will. You know what I mean? Like it's good. It's good quality racing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been an up and down season for you this season for sure here with this Lexus, and of course our other Lexus driver in the Pro Division has had much of a similar season, depending on some of the tracks here as well. A very difficult car to get around, very tight race tracks, but this track was good for the car, and then we move into St. Croix A next week. That is going to be a big technical but high speed wide racetrack. Are you feeling good about how the Lexus is looking for that racetrack, and how do you feel about that particular racetrack as well yourself as a racer?
We took a quick trip out there, tested a few laps just to get a feel for it. Because it's not a track that I've actually ever raced on, so I'm gonna be getting used to it, getting to learn. It's one of the tracks that I got to learn. But doing the laps that I've done, it's feeling pretty good. It's not as bad as a nightmare of a track as I thought it would be once you get on the track, but it's gonna be a heck of a race. Everybody's gonna be pushing lots of room for passing and there's a little bit of everything on that. S's, ups, downs, tights, sweepings. So yeah, a little bit of everything. It's going to be a great race, I think.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. So, I mean, great racing for me here tonight. And I guess with that being said, any final remarks or anything you'd like to add to your race evening here this evening, and any shout outs you'd like to throw out there to the viewers at home?
Well, I mean, it's nice to be back on the podium. I mean, it was a heck of a race. Big shout outs to Apex Guardian for the race there. Made it close at the end. That was crazy. Good job. Thank you, Ghost, GT45 Gaming. Thank you for putting this on. Of course, my team sponsor, GTR Simulators. It's coming to be Christmas. Put those Christmas lists together. Get on the website. A big shout out to my buddy Stoppy in Alberta, and my parents are watching. Thanks for watching, and thanks to my wife and my daughter. And yes, thank you very much.
Awesome as always, and you weren't wrong. Stoppy was most certainly in the YouTube chat rooting you on, and he did say that you said that you were gonna win here tonight, and well, he said you're a man of your
Oh,
word, so there you are. You are a man of your word, and bringing home a big race win for your boy there, from over in Alberta. But great racing. We appreciate you, and we'll let you get back to that clubhouse of your own, and go celebrate with that amazing family and friends of yours as well. And again, thank you for taking some time to have a few words with us here this evening.
thanks again, you two. You have a good night. Thank you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Some great interviews from some great race car drivers here from Roving Island World Tour 2 North America Edition. Congratulations to our podium finishers again. Sticky Bandit for the race win here tonight, and very close second place. In behind him was Apex Sim Racing's Guardian, and of course 1010's Fast Ginger for that third place finish. But to the whole field of Pro-Am drivers, thank you for giving us a great show tonight. Great battling right from top to bottom through this field here tonight. It was anybody's game, and I mean, it's Monza. It's Monza, baby. It always provides for some great action for everybody watching at home. So we'll be back. We'll be back a Saturday afternoon for our next racing content here at GT45 Gaming. But with that being said, we got something a little special for everybody here this evening. We've got a new game release coming out here in about 38 minutes time. It'll start downloading onto my PlayStation 5. So in approximately about an hour's time, we should be fired back up here live on the stream for a little Ghost After Dark action on the newest Assassin's Creed release, Assassin's Creed Mirage. We're going to jump in, take a first look here on release night, and go see what the game has in store for us here over the next coming days or weeks as we jump in to a new journey in a new epic saga over there at Assassin's Creed. But special thanks to the driving community for just putting on great shows for the viewers. Thank you everybody watching at home, the viewers, the fans, for those of you that are in the chat, hanging out with each other and rooting on. For those of you that are just watching silently behind the scenes at home, we appreciate you all. We appreciate that support week in and week out. And of course, extra special thanks to DDR, D-Dot Racing, for sending the series down here from United Kingdom. And I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Hope we all enjoyed the broadcast here tonight. What a great race from our Pro-Am division here. And that is the end and conclusion of Week 9 from Roving Island World Tour 2s. And with that being said, remember folks, you all matter. our door is always open here. You need to take a load off, reach out. We're always willing to sit there and let you take a load off, and stay winning. We'll see you all on the next one.